Hey friend, I am so excited to bring you this video today. It's a little out of the norm. It's not a tutorial or a watercolor video. Today I have a very special interview with my friend Mako, who is an amazing artist. She runs a YouTube channel where she has 1.5 million subscribers on it. You should definitely check it out. Her tutorials are amazing. But I'm interviewing my friend Mako today, and we're chatting all things business, how she got started, how she approaches haters on YouTube, and how she runs her business, manages her time, all that good stuff. So make sure you watch the full thing. This is gold. And after you're done watching this video, make sure you head over to Mako's channel where she's interviewing yours truly. And we talk all about my story, my inspiration, where I get inspiration, how I've built my business, etc. So I hope you enjoy this interview. Hey Mako, I'm so excited to have you here today on this call. I feel like we're just gonna have a bit of girl chat and get to know each other. I'm new to you and to your work, and new-ish. I've been kind of like creepily looking at your work online for the past few months. And I am so excited to ask you questions, get to know you better. We're gonna chat about art stuff, creative business stuff. So for anybody who doesn't know who you are, just kind of let them know who you are, what you do. Take it away.
So my name is Mako from the YouTube channel called Makoccino. I've been doing lots of art videos lately about how to paint with watercolors, and my goal is to really show people that they can actually be creative and paint something, because it's when you know what's wrong, you can always improve. So I give them hope, and I hope I can help them with all the tutorials I'm showing them. And
Yeah, so how long have you been doing art? Like, how long has that journey for you been?
Art in general, I think I just started at some point when I was little in the kindergarten. Like, just it was never like a decision or something. It was just natural. And the problem with that was that my parents were actually like completely engineers, so it was completely against everything. So I didn't have any proper, like, I wasn't really influenced by them. It was really me, like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? So I did my own thing, kind of.
So funny. Both of my parents are also engineers. So
Really?
that's hilarious. And engineering. So really random tie to our story. So about kindergarten is when you started dabbling with art. Was there ever any sort of moment throughout your life where you're like, oh, I could do this as a career, or I want to pursue this more and see what's there? Was there any sort of moment for you?
When I was like doing my A levels, I think I was always discussing with my art teacher, saying that maybe I should become an art teacher, because secretly I was really unhappy with our art teachers. They didn't explain us very well what to do, and they judged our art in a weird way. And I was like, when I grow up, I will become an art teacher. Then there were also these discussions that art teachers aren't that popular. Like, you need to find, it's really hard to find a job as an art teacher. And the problem was also that I didn't want to just study one thing, because I felt like I was too afraid to get bored with one thing. So I try to kind of avoid something where I'm too focused.
Yeah.
So I just did random things. Like, I started studying completely something different, cultural studies, because it had everything from media to philosophy to art to I don't know what, religion. And only through YouTube I slowly understood, hey, you can actually do something with art, because I learned new people, and I learned different people and discovered what they do. And I realized, hey, there are so many different ways how to earn money as an artist. So it's like not just one way, and if it doesn't work out, then you screwed, kind of.
Right. Yeah. I love that message too. And I love what you're saying, what you said earlier about how it kind of like helping people change their mindset about being creative, because I had a similar experience with high school, with art teachers and the way they approach teaching art, and the whole kind of like, we're judging people's art and this person is better than you, that or whatever. It just felt like very competitive, and there's so many different approaches to even just one medium. So for you discovering YouTube and finding tutorials out there, when was it that you decided to kind of do, because it's a big jump and it's kind of risky to put yourself out there on a social media platform or a platform like YouTube and be like, I'm going to teach you guys how to do something. Was there ever like a moment where you were posting online, or maybe not posting online, and you just decided, I'm going to open a YouTube channel and start posting?
It was around when I was still in school, actually. It was, I don't remember. I started also like already watching YouTube videos, and there were already Michelle Phan and Bob's Beauty, and I loved how they explain things. And when I started going to the university, I still wanted to pursue maybe doing art or something. Like I started with DIYs actually, because I felt like when I was in school, when you are not really popular, your opinion kind of doesn't really matter. So I felt like, but I have ideas I also want to share. So there was this platform that I was constantly thinking about. So I was like, okay, I need to do something. So I bought a camera on like something super cheap on Amazon on sale, and secretly filmed videos in my room. And this was like the first step. I want to just upload, no one will know me. I didn't show my face because I felt like if I don't show myself, it's just about the project I'm doing. And slowly I saw more and more people came, and they really didn't care who I was. They were just like, hey, this is a cool idea, I will retry it. Can you do this? Can you do that next time? So I realized it really doesn't matter who you are, actually. You just need to do something that you love, and you will find the right people for your creative outlet or what you're doing. So since then I was constantly uploading
YouTube videos. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, even the confidence alone to just put yourself out there. Like, I feel like there's so many, I mean, we both know this, I'm sure, because I mean, you have 1.5 million followers or subscribers on YouTube, and around 40 or 50,000 on Instagram. There's just a lot of people in your circle. And then with me, 180,000 on Instagram, whatever. There's just a lot of people contacting you, and I get this message, so I'm sure you're getting this message all the time too, just of like the fear around starting something and putting your work out there is so prevalent in the art community and the creative community. And it's something that I'm really passionate about. And I can tell you're really passionate about kind of demystifying and debunking this starving artist mentality, but also the mentality of like, I can't do things, or I don't have the confidence to try something new and to get good at it. And, it takes time, it takes courage, like you, to putting yourself out there in a YouTube video and not showing your face. And that's just a little glimpse into you breaking those barriers down of fear and just putting yourself out there anyway, even though you have the history of feeling insecure from school or not knowing what you're doing or feeling like an imposter. So I absolutely love that about your story. And I think that it's super courageous, and it really does take courage to kind of set yourself apart from the rest and get something going. So what are some main ways that you, just to kind of pivot the conversation a little bit, what are some main ways that you bring in some income when it comes to your career as an artist?
So for the majority of the time when I started YouTube, YouTube was my main goal. Like I didn't start YouTube for like earning money, because I had no idea that you can do that. I would just want to share my ideas. But when I was close to finishing university, I was like thinking, okay, this needs to be my full-time job so I can focus on other things, because I was like, no way, I want to a real job, quote unquote. I want to do this. And so I decided to pursue this and worked really hard to find ways how to optimize my channel, what topics do really well, but I'm also passionate about. And there was always I was always talking to other YouTubers who really wanted to follow trends to be popular, and I was like, no, I don't want to feel a way that I don't want to feel that I have to change myself or what I believe in just to be successful. So I followed, like, it was slow to grow it, but it worked at some point. And so now where I'm okay, I reached my goal, I'm okay with what I built so far. Now I can work on other revenue streams, like working with brands, but also working with actual brands besides YouTube, just to make, for example, videos for them, for their platforms. So yeah, more diverse. I try to be more diverse nowadays.
That's amazing. So you've used your platform on social or YouTube to pivot into, do you do licensing or just using videos with other brands?
Currently videos, so it's interesting, but it's usually, it's like when you start, like you have no idea what's possible. So with licensing, for example, I just discovered months ago randomly that's actually possible. I mean, I've been seeing different things and I didn't really make a connection to that actually there's an artist behind this pattern. So
Yeah.
So I think that the more you do, the more people you get to know, the more you actually realize, hey, maybe next time I can do this and that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it really just, I feel anyway, it kind of snowballs once you start getting some sort of traction on something, even if it's, I remember when I first started posting my work on Instagram, and it's probably similar to you when you first started uploading videos to YouTube. It's just like really, I feel awkward doing this. It kind of feels braggy and awkward, and who am I? But then like my mom started encouraging me in the comments, and then friends of friends, and it just like felt nice, you know, like somebody, at least someone's appreciating this. And then it gradually just kind of builds and snowballs. And if nothing else, do it for yourself is kind of my mantra, and how I approach teaching anyway. Is just like, if nothing else, it's therapeutic. It was therapeutic for me when I was, you know, stuck at a desk job and hated my job, and art got me out of that mentally. It got me out of that emotionally. It got me out of that rut that I was in. And so even if you don't make it big, or you don't even start to gain subscribers or followers on this or that, or it doesn't become a business, it's at least for you, you're doing something that is improving yourself and improving your mentality and emotional state, in my opinion, because it's so therapeutic. You do watercolor and acrylic, right? Or, and do you do anything else, or is it mostly just painting?
Yeah, usually just painting. I sometimes need to change stuff that I'm doing. Like when I'm too into watercolors, at some point I get bored and I need to try something new and go to gouache or digital or something, because I just get bored quickly. I need to change sometimes, or I need to dig deeper in the topic, then it gets more excited.
So in a way, would you say your YouTube channel, or just your approach to your business in general, has been like, I want to try something else because I'm a multi-passionate person. I want to try something else, and as I'm learning, I'm going to like show people what I'm learning? Or is there more like, I'm going to study it first and then release a video?
Sometimes both. I started with sharing ideas that I already kind of knew myself, and then I realized, okay, I can't just post and post. I also need to learn something, because I don't have anything to share. So when I, for example, learned something completely new about mixing colors, then I was like, wow, mind blowing. And then I made a video about it and made it as understandable as possible. And yeah, when I, for example, I started painting with gouache, and I also shared the process. So I think sometimes when you show the process of you learning it, or maybe even your mistakes, and people feel like, hey, it takes time. Even with her, she messed it up. I actually did a live stream video where I was like, okay, we paint something very casual, and it was a disaster because nothing worked. And people were like actually happy about that, because they thought that it's normal. It's nothing. It's like, hey, I'm painting a painting, and 5 minutes later it's ready and amazing. It's not like that.
I love that you did that, and I love that it was a mistake, because or whatever, because that's another thing too, is like people are so hung up on like, it's really easy to see the top 6 squares in someone's profile or whatever, their YouTube videos, whatever it might be, and be like, man, they're so good. Like, it just seems like they never mess up, but it's just not true. Like, if you look at my trash can right now, it's like full of really, really bad stuff, like, you know, mistakes and whatnot. We all make them, and it's just hard to not be caught in that comparison trap. So I love that you kind of approached that, and I feel like it would be tempting for people with that large of a following or subscriber count on a channel, is to be like, I will not do that. I can't let them show that I'm still learning certain things, or I make mistakes or whatever. So I love that you did that, and I love that approach, because it really does need to, and I know that you're passionate about this too, it really does need to become a part of our mentality as artists, as like mistakes are okay. Mistakes are a part of the progress. And if you don't make them, you're not going to progress. So that's something that I know that you are probably really passionate about within your own channel, your own just life as an artist. So that's really cool that you did that. I love it.
Yeah, I think also just in general, I try to compare life with art sometimes. For example, when sometimes in life you need a lot of attempts and failures until you figure out what works, what doesn't, what you should do, how to improve and stuff like that. And you can practice what I try to like convey, that you can actually try and practice that with your art. If something doesn't work out in your painting, it's just a painting. You can try it again, teach, and see it's actually working. After 10 attempts, the painting looks actually better. So then you can see it just takes time, takes just pushing through and finding a way how to get better and not be like, oh, it looks awful, I give up.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. And it's definitely challenging to do that on your own. So I applaud you for having the tenacity to keep going and keep having courage, especially with having people watching you. It's really courageous. So what have been some really difficult, how long have you been in business per se? Like when did your business officially start?
Like maybe maybe like 3-4 years, actually.
Okay.
Not that long ago.
Not that long, but also long enough. Like,
Yeah, it feels like ages.
yeah, I feel like once you get past the 1-2 year mark, you're like, all right, I'm an age-wise businesswoman now. Like, obviously, like anything, there's so much to learn, and you're constantly learning. I've been in business for almost 8 years now, which is crazy to even say out loud, but there's so much more for me to learn. It's ridiculous, but I also feel like I've been doing this forever. So 3-4 years, what have been some of the difficult experiences or hurdles that you've had in your 3 to 4 years of your business?
I think just developing actual habits that you need to have to be some successful, like getting up early, being disciplined, doing like showing up even if you don't feel like it, not be like, I don't feel like it, I just lay down or something. Like if you want to make it actual work, like if you want to be professional in that, you need to show up, because if you just see it as a hobby, then it's fine. But if you want to make it work as a job, then you need to develop those skills, and also taking care of yourself, like making sure that you eat properly and sleep properly. Because I notice when I don't sleep enough, you always have the feeling you need to get up at 5. And if you go to bed like super late, it doesn't matter, you need to get up at 5. But no, you need to get enough sleep as you need so you can actually function. Because if I don't get enough sleep, I feel like not depressed, but so unhappy, and I'm dragging myself through the day. So and just also be willing to go through all the tough times, like through bad and good times, because there will be times where you feel like, oh my God, this is not working, and will I be able to pay the rent? Or what if something happens, I can't just go to my parents because I decided to do this.
Yeah.
So and just also, yeah, having all the different things to deal with, like taxes and like invoices and all that. It's like, if when you watch like people on YouTube or on Instagram, if it looks like they're always like on Pinterest, so like sending their painting and happy and rich, but most of the times it's just sitting there like doing administration work and emails and whatnot.
Totally.
So it's so
Yeah.
I think you need to sign up for everything and not be discouraged when times are tough. Like,
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I love what you said about getting enough sleep for you. Like for some people, 6 hours is enough. For me, I mean, I have a 6-month-old baby now, so I don't really get to choose, but for me, I need more. I need like 7 or 8 hours of sleep in order to function. And that's totally your call. Like as your own individual person and business owner, like whatever is needed to fill your own cup up, that's perfectly fine. If you need to sleep in, or you need to get up early, or you need to go to bed early, whatever it might be, just making sure that you're checking in with yourself and you're able to kind of acknowledge like I need more sleep in order to function. Otherwise, I'm not going to get it all done tomorrow. Or otherwise, I'm not going to have the mental space and capacity to tackle taxes, which, like you said, as a creative business owner, you're kind of just like, oh yeah, I paint all day. That's all I do, right? No, there's so
No.
much more to it behind the scenes. And of course, it doesn't look pretty to share, filing taxes on Instagram or doing a tutorial on which it wouldn't make sense to do that because every tax situation is different anyway. But yeah, it's just, there's so many like little tiny hurdles I feel like throughout the day as a creative entrepreneur that you can't really show, you can't really, there's no behind the scenes of that really. I mean, you can show here and there, but it's hard to really attach yourself to it when you're an outsider who's like maybe thinking that you live the dream or I live the dream or whatever. And it is true. Like we do get to paint and do something we love and we're passionate about and give back to this community. But it's not just that. It's so much more. As a business owner, there's marketing and taxes and finances and pulling your hair out thinking, why did I spend money on that? Or I shouldn't have done this or that or whatever. So it's a constant battle and there's huge decisions that you kind of have to make on your own. So I love that, you're being honest with that whole experience as a creative entrepreneur. Has there been any sort of like moments in your career where you thought like, maybe I should just get a different job, like a desk job or anything like that?
I think like in the beginning where I was just starting out, it was rather, I had some savings, but they were like always like when like lower and lower, and I'm okay, how many months do I still have left to pay my rent? And you have those moments where like you have these not panic attacks, but really like anxious, like what do I do next? And I actually started looking for jobs and applied to jobs, and I didn't get anything back, or the job was already taken. So it's okay. I need to make it work somehow. I need to make it work, and it worked at some point because there was like, for me, it was almost like there was no other way around. Like I need to make it work somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at first I don't really want to go to a real job because I want to be my own boss. And I always thought that there's something wrong with me because I want that. If you try to say, I want to be my own boss, to others it feels or sounds more like you're lazy. You don't want to work, so you want to just, I don't know what you want to do. Mm-hmm. So I felt like something's wrong. And then I realized there are also people who have this DNA that they need to do it themselves. So, okay, this is what I do. This is what I want. So I need to stick through it. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's always a way, like if something really doesn't work and you really don't feel like being your own boss, and it's totally fine. You can always change and go do something else. But as long as you feel it, just stick through it.
Totally. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's like, there's so many ups and downs with creative entrepreneurship, business owner in general, whatever type of business. If you own a store, a retail store, it's challenging. There's so many ups and downs just throughout one day. Like, you have the anxiety when you wake up if you get an email from somebody who's disappointed, or I'm sure with you with such a large channel, you're getting the comments from people that are just ridiculous, and they're making judging calls about you, and they don't, without even knowing you, or there's just some haters out there, trolling the internet. It's what you get. And I know that we're putting ourselves out there and it's something to be expected. But it's hard to wake up to those types of comments. And this is kind of a little bit off topic, but I'm curious because I want to know how you handle it with such a large YouTube channel. But it's like, you wake up and I don't know if you're even able to see all the comments that you probably get, but it's hard to avoid. Like, some people's comments are just so nasty. Is there anything that you would recommend, even if it isn't someone who's an artist who has a YouTube channel or a bigger social media following? Maybe it's somebody at school who's like saying, ew, that sucks, or whatever. Like, do you have any advice for anybody who's maybe got a hater or dealing with haters, or somebody who is being negative towards what they're creating?
I think it's important to really understand what they're actually saying. If they're just saying you're stupid, then you need to it's not a valid comment. Like, what are you supposed to do with this comment? But if they say something that I would rather next time you do this, or maybe you can change this up because I feel like this is better. I would just want to share my opinion on that. Then it's completely different. And I mean, there will always be people who will be just nasty because they can, or maybe because they feel just awful and they want to make everyone else awful. But I think, yeah, you just need, I think it takes practice. I mean, I've been doing this, for example, YouTube for so long, and I still sometimes get not angry, but just not so happy about something that people write to me. But I'm happy that my audience is usually always super nice. So whenever someone's commenting something nasty, it's really useless comment. So I don't really pay attention to that. But as long as you know what you're doing, as long as you believe in what you're doing and you are completely behind that, I think it doesn't really matter what others say. Like, even if you paint something and you're completely super happy about it and proud, and someone will say and tell you that's ugly. I had this also, like in my family. I had people who didn't understand what I was painting and said, it's a blob. Can't I just paint something that Bob Ross would be doing? And I was like, no, I don't want to paint like him, maybe. And so, yeah, so it's like, you always in life, you always try to get some kind of approval of others, but you will never get that. There will always be people saying that's stupid, and you will try to make everyone happy, and then you kind of lose yourself. Like, you don't even know what you want because you try to please everyone. So I think it's important to really understand, like, what do I want, what do I like, and just ignore everything else.
And it's obviously doing very well for you. What you like and what you like to do, what you like to create is obviously it's resonating with a lot of other people, which is something too that I keep seeing, like, floating around the internet, is like, there's so many people just trying to replicate what they see as a trend, or replicate what they see as working well for somebody else. And it's like, there's 7 billion plus people on this planet. And there's only one you with your unique story, your unique approach to something. So even if it is a trend or something that has already been done, like, the way you approach it and the way you use your voice to teach it or whatever is maybe a new spin or a new way that somebody can take in that information and actually learn and progress from it. So, like, for me, I did really poorly in school. A lot of creatives do, I feel like, and maybe this is you too, I don't know, but I did really poorly in school because a lot of my teachers approached teaching in the same way, and it just wasn't resonating with me. And once I was able to, like, get more hands-on and be one-on-one with people in college and university, I was able to do more one-on-one, like, with my teachers, kind of office hours. And I was able to, like, use pictures more, and, like, it sounds ridiculous, but I was able to, like, draw out what I was learning. And I studied psychology, so it's just a random thing to do with a professor, but it really helped me. And I just feel like same thing goes with business, same thing goes with teaching art, is like, sure, watercolor florals have been done, or gouache this or that has been done, and it's been taught over and over and regurgitated and this and that. But the way you, Mako, teach and the way you use your voice, it just resonates with a lot of people. But because of the way you use your voice and the way you show or the way you teach resonates with people. And so, like, I love that you're soft-spoken and that you have this story that's like, because I'm not soft-spoken whatsoever. Maybe I'm like really trying to hold back my personality in this interview. I don't want to be like, blah. But like, the way that you teach is going to be different than the way that I teach. I'm more like sarcastic and in your face and whatever. And that resonates with some people and it repels other people. And that's totally fine. And so that's going to bring out some constructive criticism. So the people saying, like, can you change up the angle for next time, or the lighting? Like, my lighting right now probably is going to get people saying, can you have better lighting next time? Whatever. And that's all constructive, and something to, when you receive constructive criticism, like you're saying, it's something to definitely take to heart and think about it, and put that into practice if it's something that's constructive. But then there's other people that are just, out there to hate. And I feel like it's really difficult, especially as an artist, to not get caught up in the one person who's being a negative Nancy when all these other people are saying, you're doing so amazing, I love that, or I love your colors that you use, or whatever it might be. So You know, if you are watching this and you're in school or you have a channel or you do this or that and you're starting to get some negative comments about your work, just remember there's so many people. It's way easier to type negative things or to say negative things than it is to say or to type positive things. So for the one person that's being negative, there's probably 10 or 100 people who just haven't spoken up about the positive things or the things they do like about what you're doing. So stay positive, keep doing you, like you said, do what you enjoy and what resonates with you, and the people will come. All right, so next question. What has been the most rewarding parts about doing art for a living?
I think the most rewarding part was first you get to decide what you want to do. Like you are your own boss. You decide when to wake up, when to go to sleep, when to work, and but also you get to learn so many new people and so many different ways how to earn a living doing art. And you also kind of, I don't know, it's just the whole new world opens for you with new people, with opportunities, and even just being able to work with brands that you've used when you were in high school, for example. I had no idea that it's even possible. So I think when you start a career, even if it's just art or something else, you usually never know what can happen. You only have, when you start, your view is a little small and it opens, and then you like, I don't even know, there's so many options. And I think this is the cool part, that the more you expose yourself to different things in the art community and people and brands, and even go to trade shows and I don't know, just do everything, it's you realize that it never gets boring. You can do so many different things, and you can always reinvent yourself. You can reinvent what you do, because the whole industry develops and changes, and you change too. And so it's really fun. It never gets boring.
Totally. And that's a really good point to make too, is as a creative entrepreneur, it's more than just doing art and just kind of staying kind of in this little box. Like, in order to stay relevant or to continue to grow as a creative entrepreneur, you do kind of have to be on your toes and kind of anticipating trends shifting and changing and moving, and like how you started on YouTube and you've sort of pivoted in your business and started working with brands, and you know, just not staying comfortable for comfortability's sake, because then you become irrelevant. I don't know if I said that word right. But if you want to, you know, continue to grow your creative business, do you have any advice when it comes to pivoting as a creative entrepreneur, and like maybe how to do it, or how you kind of anticipate changes within your business, or when it's time to change?
I think you never know. For example, sometimes you do the same thing and you feel like it's just boring. You're not feeling super excited about it, and it's probably about time to change something. Because, for example, if you have a goal and you reached it, what are you doing next? Like, what's your next goal? Because it's really boring afterwards, probably. So I think it's important to push yourself out of your comfort zone. For example, I usually go to trade shows by myself. I'm like, go there, and there are so many different brands, and I don't know what to do. I have no idea how to behave. So I start to walk around and see what are they doing, what is this product, and get to know people. And then I get to know other creatives, and we connect. And this person tells me what she's doing. She's saying maybe she's doing licensing, and I'm saying, what is this licensing? Tell me more about it. So you get to, I think if you just sit at home, you never know how to expand your business. So, I mean, you can always browse internet and decide, maybe this is something for me, but it's still limited. I think you need to really push yourself out there and go to places and connect with other people, because you never know where to go or what to do. Even if you have a plan, it develops through your process, kind of.
Totally. And never underestimate the power of networking. Like what we're doing here, even though, you know, we're not in person, but it's similar to like, just go out of your comfort zone, talk to people on the phone or over a Zoom call, you know, and that's because for me, like I pivoted into this whole YouTube channel like in June. So a couple months ago, and something new for me. I'm trying it out because, you know, tutorials and art tutorials, just it makes sense to be on YouTube. And so it's something unfamiliar to me. It's something I've never done before, but I know that in terms of, you know, because I have books, how-to books, like it would just make sense for me. And so putting yourself out of your comfort zone, I know it may not seem like I am awkward when it comes to meeting people. That sounded awkwardly prideful and like I'm bragging about it. I know it may not seem like I'm awkward. I'm very awkward, obviously. No, but I am terrible at meeting people in person because I am incredibly, like my personality is something that I just don't know how to really maturely, not stuff, but just kind of like be cool for a second, you know? And so it's awkward. I say stupid things, foot and mouth all the time, but you know what? It's gotten me like further in my business in so many different ways. I've met my agent through it. I've been able to, you know, climb different ladders, so to say, in the creative entrepreneurship realm, like get into licensing because of putting myself out there and meeting new people and traveling for it and whatnot. So it's really important. It's really important to not just stay, like you're saying, stay comfortable. And it's easy to stay at home and kind of hide behind your phone or do whatever, but it's so important for you as a creative entrepreneur to put yourself out there, meet new people. And you wouldn't have discovered what licensing even is if you hadn't gone to this trade show. So I love that. I love that you're taking, you know, that leap and putting yourself out there, meeting people and whatnot. It's very good.
I think it's also important to just, even if it sounds scary just going outside the comfort zone. I think I started a few years ago where I had one goal to go to a workshop where I don't know anyone, but my goal was to speak to one person I don't know. And this was, okay, I made it, good. Next time, okay, I will do this again. And you kind of develop this skill to go outside and talk to people, because I was so shy in school. I not always shy around people I know, but usually I'm just sitting there observing and people are like, why are you not saying anything? And I was just a quiet person. So for me I changed so much after, I don't know, 10 years or so. I'm a completely different person. I also have the problem that I'm like this usually, and I'm trying to be more comfortable and more calm, to be more professional, but I'm like, sometimes, but it's okay. I mean, it's how we are. So
yeah, and it goes back to you're uniquely you and nobody else can be you. And that resonates with people because your shyness, my awkwardness, our little intricacies of our personality are something that people also have because we're people, we're human beings. And so, you know, we're not all going to serve the same person. And there are the awkward people like me or the shy people like you in school who would love to know that they can be successful or would love to know that their art could resonate with people. So it's great that you're doing what you're doing and giving back to the art community. I think it's amazing and putting yourself out there. And it is a skill, like you said, you know, like going out every day and going to a trade show. A trade show is ballsy too, because there's a lot of people there and they seem super official and like not imposters whatsoever because they have booths and clipboards and papers that they're handing out. And so it feels like, oh, these people are like really dialed. What am I doing here? I am not dialed whatsoever. I should get my shit together before I hop in this room, whatever. So I love that. And it takes courage, but it also is a skill that you develop. So I love that you said that. So what are some of your future plans when it comes to your art business? Anything on the horizon for Mako or your YouTube channel or anywhere else? Do you have any sort of goals that you want to achieve? Let us know.
Yeah, so the goal is to diverse, and I'm really bad. I don't know how you do this because you do so many different projects at the same time, I feel like. And when I do one project, I'm so into it that I completely neglect everything else. So so for me, currently I'm working on a big project that's totally out of my comfort zone. I'm actually writing a book right now.
Yay! That's
so
awesome.
And I have like literally maybe just 1 month left, and we started a few weeks ago. So it's like, okay, in 2 months I need to do everything. And I'm like, what?
I know.
So yeah, so this is really every day planning out and sitting there and being like, oh, I can't do this anymore, and then you should take a break. But yeah, so this is one of the projects I'm working on, and I'm super excited about it. And I'm so nervous because I mean it's printed. When it's a YouTube videos, you're like, okay, this is just a YouTube videos, but when it's a book, you feel like it's legit, and people will like, can you attack you or something if there's like, if I start talking about that red is not the primary color or something, that people will attack me or something.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so yeah, I think even if it's just art, people can be very criticize you about everything that you're doing. And yeah, and just diving in, like I was looking into licensing also. I was really reading, what I always love, getting your newsletter and reading your blog about and learn everything. so yeah, so I actually started a little bit to really like dive in, and then this book came in, so I had to neglect this for a while. So yeah, you never know, like maybe online course. I really want to do an online course, because I feel like YouTube is amazing, but it's like such a treadmill kind of, and you also miss people that could be watching your videos, and it would be nice to have like something that's put together nicely, and just have like more freedom and time. I think I joined B school last year or something, where we had to yeah, but you really had to focus on what do you want from your life, what's your dream life, and I wrote it down. And whenever I feel like, no, this turns into a hamster wheel again, no, I have to do something different. So it's really important. So you will see. So this is book, courses.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am
Licensing.
so excited for you. I mean, writing a book is grueling. It is. So the deadlines are insane. So when you said like I have a month left, and I know all about the crunch time and like how am I going to do this? I have to pull like 25 all-nighters. How is that possible? Get it done somehow, but it's crazy writing a book. What type of book is it, by the way?
It's about watercolors.
Like a how-to book?
It's more about how to improve, like more my type of thing, where I talk about how to improve and how to do different things, how to like not hacks, but more like struggles and how to avoid them. And yeah, so I'm currently writing it in German though, because working with.
Wait,
Sorry?
I'm confused. Are you from Germany, or you live in Germany, right?
Yes, I'm Germany.
And you're German, right?
I was born in Russia.
That's what I thought.
But
I thought there was another piece to the puzzle. I was like, there's something else though. So, but you live in Germany and your book is going to be in German.
Yes, but I'm also currently in contact with English publisher, so maybe we can kind of synchronize everything together.
That would be great. German's done really well for my two books too, the translation. So I know vice versa for you would do well if you got it into English.
I hope it will work out.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. That's amazing. Huge congrats, and good luck with this next month. It will get done. But it is such an exciting endeavor, and I feel like it just like is a big bucket list item as a creative, as a business owner, artist type. Like it's just like, oh, I wrote a book. How cool is that? So very, very big congrats and hugs to you.
Thank you.
And also definitely get after the whole courses thing. I think you would be so good at doing online courses, and I'm shocked that you don't have any online courses yet. I think it would be really, really cool for you to be out there with an online course, or 2 or 5 or 20, who knows? We'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to see what we have in store, what Mako has in store for her future, and what we as watchers and learners of Mako have in store for ourselves. Very great stuff. So last question is, what big advice or tips would you give to an artist who is maybe interested in taking their passion and making it into a source of income, maybe starting a business?
I believe it's really important, as I mentioned earlier, to be willing to work hard, because I sometimes get messages from people who ask me, they show their art to me and ask me if they have what it takes to be an artist. And I'm like, it really depends on you. Like, you can be the best artist in the world, but if you give up every time, or you don't want to work hard, then you won't be a successful artist, even if you're totally amazing. So I think the important part is to really work every day on developing one skill that really will help you in your art career. Like, setting yourself deadlines, maybe working out, maybe getting up early, maybe working on your time management, start complaining less, comparing less, something really, it's more about personal skills, not your own, it's more about your habits than your skills, I think. And those habits turn into your skills at some point. So
reach. Mic drop. No, that was amazing. Yep. I love that. I think it's so true. It's about your habits. And I know that there's like self-help books out there and whatnot. That's a whole nother topic, but of like the habits of a millionaire, you see those floating around and all that kind of stuff. But it is true. Like if you don't have the grit and the tenacity to work really hard, then it doesn't matter how skilled you are, how talented you are, or how good you are at drawing or painting. Like if you don't have the habitual, like the maturity to have habits every single day, day in and day out, to show up, to put in the hard work, to learn something new. Like no artist, we talked about this earlier too, no artist thinks they're going to wake up one day and be like, you know what, I have to think about my 401k and start contributing to my 401k. How do I approach this? And then you have to spend your day doing, like, you have to learn. You're constantly learning. You're constantly having to put in such hard work. And this now too, with writing a book, and how that is a whole nother like element of hard work. So I love that. That is such good advice to anybody who is an artist or a budding artist and maybe wants to turn it into a career. Because I get that asked too, is like, take a look at my work. Do you think I could make it? And it's like, I have no idea. Do you work really hard? Do you stay disciplined? Are you disciplined? Are you able to fight for something that you want? Because like you said, doesn't matter how talented you are. If you're not able to fight for it and you give up, then it's just not going to last. So I love that. I really enjoyed this conversation. I think it was very brilliant. You had so many good just nuggets of wisdom and really great takeaways for any artist or creative entrepreneur. And I'm really impacted by your work, and I think it's beautiful. And learn from it. And I'm really excited for your book, even though I can't speak German, so please get it in English.
I'm working on it.
Yes, crossing our fingers. So if someone who's watching who maybe doesn't know where to find you online, where can they find you? Your YouTube, Instagram, all of that.
I can just type in Makoccino, Makoccino, and it's a little bit difficult with Instagram and other platforms because the ending is different, but you just type in Makoccino and you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube,
all of the places, and we'll have you linked in the description too for people to find you on all the places online. Thank you so much, Mako. This was such a pleasure. I feel like
thank you so much for having me.
And now we can like DM more and have more shots. I want to do this again. So
yes.
Thanks for joining me, and have a good evening. It's evening. Right?
Yeah, it's almost 6 p.m. here.
Wow. And I'm just starting my day. So thanks.
It's really crazy, right?
Oh, it's so crazy. I love it. All right. Thank you, Mako.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. We're not done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that interview. Make sure you check the links below, because we also did the flip where I was interviewed by Mako on her channel. So if you want to hear my story, my inspiration, how I manage my time, all of that kind of good stuff, make sure you check out that video on her channel. And make sure you smash that like button and leave a comment below letting me know what you loved about this interview, maybe your takeaways or your favorite part, what was inspiring to you, etc. And make sure you give her some love on her channel and on Instagram. We'll make sure the links are linked below in the description. Till next time.